I have a terrible sense of style. I don't know how to dress myself. As I'm getting older, I realize that I need to kind of care about how I look. Because ultimately, if it was up to me, I'd roll up in an esports jersey and cargo shorts. And thinking about this, I was like, wait a minute. Who do I know? What class of people do I know that dress the best? And the answer is homosexuals. And in the modern age, we use drugs and pharmaceuticals to improve our lives. And so if you consult this graph here, it's a bell curve graph, and you'll notice that on the extremes of the graph, you have gay people who have really low or really high amounts of testosterone. And recently I got some blood work done that showed that I am perfectly heterosexual. I'm like perfectly in the mid-range. So naturally the solution is to pump myself full of testosterone so that I can become gay and get a sense of style. And to measure whether or not I'm gaining a sense of style, I'm going to be playing Dress to Impress. And some of you might be thinking, why are you playing Dress to Impress? It just doesn't make any sense. And first of all, no one is better at pointing out your flaws and mistakes than children are. And God forbid a swagged up white boy wants to play a Roblox fashion dress up game with a bunch of 13-year-old girls while on copious amounts of growth hormone. Dress to Impress isn't the only thing I'm going to be kind of working on. I also want to update my wardrobe in real life. So as I'm playing Dress to Impress and as I'm injecting steroids into my body, I'm also going to be going out into the world and buying clothes and updating my wardrobe. Now, some of you might be asking, Gurm, what do you mean you don't have a good sense of style? And I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to show a quick montage, like 3 outfits, nothing too fancy, of kind of the average clothes that I wear in public. You have this first one that's awesome. A lot of girls look at me when I go places and I feel them judging me. I love the colors individually. It looks kind of childish almost. Second one, a little simpler, a little less harsh on the eyes. It's not super obvious, but both the shirt and the shorts are falling apart. Generally speaking, the look that I present is at best childish, at worst homeless person. And then the third outfit is kind of something, I don't necessarily hate it, but you know, hoodie, sweatpants. I like the hoodie. I like sweatpants, you know, it's classic, it's simple. And there are kind of 3 goals that I have in mind. Number 1, more pants. I think I own like 2 pairs of pants, like nice pants. I want to own jeans. I want to own jeans and shit. Number 2, I want more pastels. I think I want more monochromatic stuff. And then number 3, I want to work on my silhouette. I think if you were to take all my outfits and like do a silhouette, you'd find generally very baggy clothes or like shorts and a t-shirt, right? And I want to kind of work on that silhouette more. I want to have more refined, defined, interesting silhouettes. Those are the 3 guidelines that I'll be following. With that out of the way, we can continue on to the next step, which I think is going to be doing the control. Okay, I just finished my 50th game of Dress to Impress, and the fucking nepotism in this game is insane. Look, I got last. Fucking shocker. Alright, the theme was K-pop. And look, I'm Jungkook. Whatever, it's fine. I'm like not mad about it. The little girls that play this game are fucking racist, okay? I am like 95% certain that if I start tracking my race, which I'm gonna start doing on the testosterone because I'm done with the control. If I'm not white, my average position is like, I go down like 2, swear to God, watch. Now, unfortunately, testosterone or steroids in general are a controlled substance, so it's actually like illegal to have it, to get it, to sell it, to move it, unless you have a prescription, of course. Despite this, though, it was actually pretty easy for me to get it. Inexplicably, I've developed a very deep underground syndicate of trans people that have access to most of the hormones that I would ever want. Unlike estrogen, which is a gray market kind of thing, because it's kind of like illegal, not illegal kind of thing. This is proper black market, so you have to pay for it with cryptocurrency. And so I bought it from China, shout out. The warehouse was originally in Dongguan, Guangdong, China. And then from there, it flies to Shenzhen. From Shenzhen, it goes to Hong Kong. And then from Hong Kong, it goes to Chicago. And it actually gets stuck in Chicago for a while. I thought customs got it. I thought like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna get fined. Like, this sucks. And I'm not gonna get my drugs either. But no, they just let it right through. They just held it for a while. I don't know why. Then from Chicago, it goes to Seattle. And then from Seattle, it goes to Portland. And then to me in Eugene. And it came in a very cute little box. The return address was like a guy and like some American address. But yeah, that was fun. It's fun to like commit crime and stuff. Not that I ever would. You know what I mean? This is all alleged. It's not real. Like, this isn't real etho, testosterone, and anthate, right? And these aren't like real syringes, and these aren't real needles. They're props. They're props. But first, a quick lesson in steroids. The human body is essentially a tube from your mouth to your ass, and we are everything around that tube. The inner workings of your body is a very elaborate system of levers and gauges, especially as it pertains to hormones. Your body monitors everything, or at the very least most things. You produce an amount of testosterone. It doesn't really matter. Your balls produce it, or if you're a girl, some other shit happens. That testosterone goes into the bloodstream. It goes up around into the hypothalamus, into the pituitary, and many other systems. And the hypothalamus and pituitary basically say, hey, we have this much testosterone. We are going to produce this much of whatever hormone in response to that. And then those hormones get released or produced or whatever, and they trickle down into the rest of the body. It just constantly, it's a feedback loop. And so what happens when you introduce exogenous or outside testosterone into your body is your body gets kind of confused. It goes, hey, we're producing an amount of testosterone, but your brain or your body is registering more than that. And if you're outside healthy ranges, your body is going to be like, wait a minute, we have too much. We need to tone shit down. We need to start turning down levers. We need to start turning down gauges, which is why you hear testicular atrophy or your balls shrinking is a very common side effect of anabolic steroid abuse. Is basically think of it like Blockbuster and Netflix. Blockbuster, for the kids who don't know, used to be the happening spot to get movies and stuff other than the theater. You'd go every Friday night with your mom and pop, you'd go rent a movie with like Julie Haggerty in it or whatever the fuck, and you go, oh, this is the one, and then you go home and you watch it. If it's a VHS, you gotta rewind that hoe afterwards, and you take it back, and it's kind of laborious. And then Netflix comes out. Before it was a streaming service, you could actually order DVDs to your house, and it's like, why would I go to Blockbuster? I can just order this shit to my house for like the same price or a comparable price. Like, I don't give a fuck about Blockbuster. And eventually Blockbuster goes out of business, except for Bend, Oregon. Shout out. Your body is like that. Your body is Blockbuster. So don't introduce Netflix into it. I don't really know what the analogy means, but the point is, it's dumb, it's dangerous, you shouldn't do it. That being said, I'm the GOAT, naturally, so I'm gonna do it. I don't really envision many sort of long-term side effects. It'll probably just make me jacked and hopefully gay. Hopefully not permanently gay. Is it homophobic to not want to be chemically turned gay? Leave a comment.
Well, I don't want to kiss any boys yet.
I'm starting to experience some of the side effects. I'm starting to get like a little bit of acne, and I accidentally told an old lady to kill herself in the park the other day. I really hope I don't get gyno. Chicks do not dig gyno. Look at this shit, man. Look how hard I have to work. Look how hard I have to work. Are you seeing this? I got second to this. I got second, but whatever. After a million fucking years, I finally played 300 rounds of Dress to Impress. I hate this game so fucking much. I've spent over 50 hours playing this shit. I still gotta go and crunch some numbers, but I'm like, the figures can't lie, but liars sure can figure. I will post the Google Sheets that I used in the description somewhere. Even before we get into that, we're gonna do a quick clothes montage. Something like this, maybe? I kind of wish that it showed the white a little bit. I got khakis, and then I got like a wildlife duck shirt thing. Can you see it? I can't look that far back. I look like someone you'd see walking around Palo Alto. I even have the key card to boot. Maybe not with the cargo pants, but in general, surely. Huh? Little Snoop Troop kind of thing going. It's actually kind of form-fitting. It's certainly in certain lightings, it is flattering. I'm not used to wearing form-fitting clothes. I realized when I look at people and I see that they're hot, usually they're wearing like form-fitting stuff and they just have like a good form. I was actually thinking this actually might look super fucking tight because it'll match the little guys on the back. Right? Kind of smart. Oh, I also went to Arby's. Not sponsored, but it can be sponsored. You dig? I love Arby's. See? Imagine if I was wearing real pants. I was actually very happy with how my clothes selection came out. I liked just about every piece of clothing or article of clothing that I bought, bar like one or two. And then a couple didn't fit because that was me being a silly Billy. But I'm very kind of happy with the way the wardrobe changes turned out. I'm actually wearing some of the new clothes, if you couldn't tell. I'll also put up like a physique kind of update thing. The first 4 are going to be me just kind of standing normally, standing static, which is pretty standard for the channel. Since I am taking steroids, or I guess testosterone, I did want to measure how much muscle mass that I kind of gain and if it's visually very different at all. And I tried to be in the same position, and I tried to put the camera in the exact same position, and I did a pretty okay job. Most of these poses are going to be first thing in the morning. This is kind of like the fasted weight. Some of my posing is kind of off. Again, I try to keep it kind of consistent. I try to keep it the same, but it was pretty difficult. I don't think you can see many visual changes over the weeks. Even from week 0 to week 5, I don't think looks that different. But I can tell you from in real life, from like feeling my body and stuff, I have a lot more muscle now than I did 4 weeks ago. Maybe not a lot more, but you know, like definitely noticeably more for sure. But now we can kind of get to the exciting stuff, the stuff you guys are all waiting for, the stats about what happened or what went down. So I got a little notebook. I wrote some stuff down. The averages in the control were about the same. The average position that I'd get, the average rank that I would place was about 5th. On Dress to Impress, which is fine. In the control, it's a lot more like random. I'm just as likely to get first as I am to get last. But on test, the graph or the histogram for positioning is skewed a little right, so I'm a little more likely to get slightly higher. I'm a little more likely to do okay or good rather than just straight bad. And then I also did the number breakdown for if my fellow fashionistas are racist or not. And unfortunately, there's really no significant statistical evidence to show that they're racist. The only kind of cope that I have is that when I would choose a white skin color, or whenever I would make a white model, that histogram, it showed that there were a couple outliers like all the way at the end. There were like 3 rounds where I placed like really bad. I was in like a particularly large lobby and I got like last, so I got like 11th or 12th or 10th once or twice. And so if you remove those outliers, I do place a little bit better. So the average stayed about the same for if I had chose a black model, it was about, I just get the position same like 5th-ish. And same with white was also 5th-ish. But if you remove the outliers, which is to say only like 3 rounds, my average position for white drops from like 5 to like 4.8 or something like that. Still probably not statistically significant, even if you do a t-test. Maybe if you do like a really wide confidence interval, maybe it's fine. But yeah, so I guess sorry to all the pubescent girls that I was playing the games with. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when I know the outfit's fire and you guys just don't know your ass from the hole in the ground. You know what I mean? So like that's on me, I guess, but do a better job voting, be better. But honestly, this was actually pretty freaking sweet. I honestly might do this like every year, just like a quick 1-month cycle. I'd probably do a smaller dose. I was doing like 300 milligrams a week. I'd probably do less. I'd probably do like maybe 200 or 150 a week. And then instead of just 1 injection a week, I might do like 2 injections a week. That would be kind of sweet. Because I had a great time. Aside from like the constant thoughts of violence and stuff, generally just felt good. Just felt great all the time. But yeah, thanks so much for watching.